So the next time someone tries to judge you for carrying a concealed carry gun when you go to church, I want you to show them this video.
New tonight, a bishop in Brooklyn robbed at gunpoint in the middle of a church service, and the whole thing happened during a live stream.
Yo, all right. Yo, all right.
Bishop Lamar Whitehead says 3 men waving guns stole hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry from him and his wife. It happened about 9:30 this morning at Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in Canarsie. The bishop says he worried the thieves were coming in to shoot worshipers.
How many of you have lost your faith because you saw somebody else die what you about to go through? Yo, all right. I seen 3 to 4 men come in. I said, all right. It's pretty much stating that I'm not going to do anything, right? Because I know y'all coming for me. Y'all coming straight to me. I don't want my parishioners hurt, right? I got women and children there. As I got down, one went to my wife and took all her jewelry and had the gun in front of my 8-month-old baby's face. Took off my bishop's ring, my wedding band, and took off my bishop's chain, and then I had chains underneath my robe. He started tapping my neck to see if anything else. So that means they knew. They watched and they knew that I have other jewelry.
The church's live stream shows the gun being held on the pastor.
They had the guns on my deacons that was at the door.
Whitehead says what you don't see on camera are around 100 congregants who were in the room. Men, women, and children dropped to the floor in silence.
My church is traumatized. I think all pastors should be able to get permits for pistols.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Mayor Adams said, quote, "No one in this city should be the victim of an armed robbery, let alone our faith leaders and congregants worshiping in a house of God."
So the first mass shooting at a house of worship in the modern era occurred in 1980 during a Sunday service at First Baptist Church in Dangerfield, Texas. Since the Columbine school shooting on April 20th, 1999, there have been 23 fatal church shootings, at least in 2020. It doesn't account for 2021 and 2022. Long story short, there have always been shootings at places of worship, and unfortunately, I'm sure there will be another sometime in the future. As a not so very good Christian who does carry when he goes to church, I do believe if there's one place you should feel safe, it should be the church. But that's not how reality works. Criminals and evil psychopaths don't respect the sanctity of a church any more than they respect the rule of law. What's sacred to you isn't sacred to them, and they won't hesitate to victimize you in your church. So, if you legally can, carry a gun to church. Because it's not like we don't have accounts of people actually using their firearm in church to stop mass shooters. Need I remind you of Jack Wilson, the guy who shot and killed the mass shooter who tried to shoot up his church and it was captured on video? Then there was Stephen Wilford, the man who used an AR-15 to stop a mass shooter at a church in Sutherland Springs from killing more people. I can hear some people saying, but no one in this story was killed. They were just there to rob. If someone else had a gun there, people would have died. Yeah, this is true. The criminals could have died, and I'm okay with this. However, this idea of just let the criminals do what they want to you and you'll be safe is a mentality that is guaranteed to get you killed. It doesn't make you safer. It just emboldens the criminals to do more bad shit. And as long as you just continue to roll over and take it, it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You really want to live your life where criminals feel emboldened to rob you at gunpoint whenever they feel fit because they know there will be no consequences? That's the kind of world that you want to raise your kids in? Look, don't be surprised at all if all of these crimes and shootings start happening more frequently. Over the last 2 years, our government shut down our economy, thrusting people who are already hurting financially further into the abyss of economic despair. In short, the bottom has fallen out. Not to mention having people locked up in their homes for long periods of time, thus causing the underlying mental health issues of some of these people to come bubbling to the surface. Then there's our politicians who do everything in their power to enable criminality while at the same time restricting good people's right to own firearms to protect themselves from the very people these politicians' policies create and embolden, all in the name of virtue signaling just to get more votes. This church robbery happened in a place with arguably the toughest gun laws in the country. There were no cops there to prevent it, and there were no cops there to stop it. That's the reality of your safety. The reality is you are the only person responsible for it. So whether it be at home, at the mall, or at church, the only person you can depend on to protect you is you. You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.